about your car?
Well, I don't know.
Said he had issues with right front bite.
Yeah, it was just putting too much weight on the right front of it. So it was just lifting the left rear right up.
You still look pretty good. I mean, really did. Still waiting for people to join. Hello. So how many years have you been coming in here?
This is probably 8 years.
Yep.
I only didn't race for 1 year.
All right. So welcome, guys, to the final edition of the Rumble Mumble of 2019. As most of you guys know, today is our practice and load-in day. So they're actually on the track right now racing. You just got off the track. So introduce yourself, who you are, what you're running this weekend.
I'm Aiden Williamson, and I drive senior cage and non-wing 600s.
And this is Jeremy Howe. As you can tell, that is not Larry Bowes. He was a little too busy to come on the show tonight. But no, we're having a good time. Like I said, it's loading day, practice day. It's in full effect. And tomorrow starts the 22nd annual Rumble in Fort Wayne presented by Jason Deach Trailer Sales. So how's practice day going for you?
Pretty good. The track's rubbering up pretty well.
And this is your first year in a 600?
Well, I've raced outdoors, and I got it this is my first full year, and this is my first time in here in a 600. So
how's that going for you?
Pretty well. It was pretty good the first practice we went out. So
was it intimidating at all coming in here for the first time?
A little bit. It's a little bit different because I like you got bigger people and more well-known names in these cars. So.
But you've ran karts in here for quite a few years. Yeah. Have you ever gotten a win or done pretty well?
I have 4 wins in here.
4 wins.
Karts.
Okay.
Junior sportsman champ, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and kid karts too. So.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
And Jeremy's taken a few laps in here too.
I have. I think this is the 15th or 16th year here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeremy, we've actually shared a few rides over the past couple of years, and he was my crew chief last year.
Yep.
And flipped over twice.
Yep.
Or 2 times.
2 times. It made me a little nervous. But...
So we're gonna chalk those up to his mistake, just set up. So that's his fault. So Larry, if you're watching, I know you like to remind me of those a lot. Blame it on this guy.
It'd be easy to do.
So yeah, like you said, you're racing against a lot of big name people. We interviewed John Avey, Larry Joe Shrove, Dylan Woodling's bringing a brand new car here. You're going up some pretty stout competition, and to top it all off, you're racing in front of Tony Stewart, Rico Abreu, Kyle Hamilton. How nerve-wracking is that, going out there?
It's pretty nerve-wracking, especially being my first time. So,
are you, what would make you happy this weekend? Are you expecting
both cars? It'll be a pretty good weekend.
Yeah,
It's a very good goal. I agree. It's a very good place to start.
Mm-hmm. So we have to kind of take a minute to thank all of our partners here. We're pretty blessed to have a lot of help this year on that end. So we have a lot of class sponsors: Rage Karts, Bob Busher Homes, Co-Heating and Air, Foster Engineering Performance, and Leary Shock Technology. And we've actually had a lot of heat race sponsors and stuff. So we'll be giving out some heat race prizes. And those are from Sailor Racing Engines, Rage Karts, Competition Suspension Inc., and Larry Shock Technology as well.
Absolutely. A lot of good partners on this year. There's a lot of special things going on this year, too. There's $1,000 to win at Senior Cage, sponsored by Rage Karts.
In the Limbacher Memorial, in the Clun class, that's $2,000 to win. Yep. We got the Midgets this year. I'm excited for the Midgets this year with Rico and Tony getting a little bit of redemption. Mike Fedorchuk's coming back, and They had a little rough year last year, but coming back this year, they look pretty ready. They were out walking around today, and I think they're pretty ready.
Yep, yeah. I think the whole Munchkin deal, they regrouped. Rico looks like he has some new colors for this year. Looks very similar to Tony's Munchkin, and the 2.5 or 25, I believe, is his number this year. So two very, very similar looking cars, but I think that they'll come back this year with Redemption for sure. But you were pulling double duty. You're running senior cage and non-wing 600 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You eat your bananas, keep your potassium up, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Jeremy, he's ran senior cage in here, and he's ran 600s in here, and I don't remember a year that he hasn't complained about how tired he's been by the end of the night. So I'm good luck this weekend.
Guilty. Yeah, it takes a lot of physical stamina to run in here, especially with the go-karts.
Yeah.
The 600s I found to be a little bit easier to drive, believe it or not, with the seat padding, and the steering rack takes a little bit off of you. But it's all about comfort, and I'm sure that you will come into your own, and after a few laps, it'll feel like second nature.
It's really, kind of an abnormal day, seeing that it's 50, almost 60 degrees out, which was pretty nice for loading in and walking around outside, but it almost made the Coke syrup almost slimy, and we've talked a lot about that over the past 13 weeks or however long we've been doing this, it being almost like a dirt track, and how much that the rubber buildup changes throughout the day. So, with that added change, with it being so hot and so humid outside, how has that thrown a wrench into your plans this weekend?
Well, it's just slicking the track up, like you said. It's making the track more slimy, and I think it's pretty good. It's rubbering up better now, so.
Yeah, Larry Bose is actually out on the track with a few of the workers spreading some rosin down, and that's really helped, kind of build the rubber back up and build some bite up.
And I believe we'll be doing a pit walk tomorrow.
Yes, I'm pretty excited for that. If you haven't been following along on our social media, make sure you do. Follow our Instagram and our Twitter and our Facebook, and we'll be putting out some pretty cool things throughout the weekend, as well as as Jeremy said, the pit walk. We're gonna hopefully walk through all the pits, the midgets and the 600s. Maybe see if we can't get down in the basement of the carts, but that's about 1.5 miles away. It's a little bit of a haul.
It's a lot of walking.
But I'm excited for that. We're gonna kind of give you a pit walk, maybe interview some drivers. So maybe let us know in the comments who you want to see interviewed on the pit walk. Maybe some cars you want to make sure we give you a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. The temperature outside has definitely affected how the racetracks came in, but after the first set of hot laps tonight, it looks like everything's gonna tune in. And we actually have Joe Liguori gonna join us.
Yeah, we got a special guest who came hot off the racetrack. Joe Liguori, how was that practice session?
We got like 1.5 laps in, somebody spun, and then a push truck driver made a malfunction, and I just came in. I mean, track's still pretty green, so I don't know. I think we're gonna be okay. We got power steering in the thing this year, and it's a totally different race car, so I think we can better our third place run from last year if we get it right. So
is that how different is that? With the power steering compared to
too fat for the uniform. It's night and day because it's electric steering in there, so it's like a servo assist. It's different than hydraulic stuff. It basically it's very, very easy to drive. So it reminded me of my go-kart days. So you don't really put a whole lot of effort into turning it. You just kind of put a little bit of hand into it. And don't overcorrect it, or you'll probably crash the thing. But it's not bad. It'll take a little bit of getting used to. They're sending our group back out. I just pulled in because it's going to be sitting out there, and I feel like sitting and waiting. I figured I'd come here and just do this with you guys.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming back out here. Like you said, you're coming off a third place run last year. What kind of changes did you make? How excited are you this year going into the 22nd annual Rumble?
Well, I'm excited. We made a few little changes, not a whole lot. The car's good, so it's not like you don't want to mess with too much. You don't want to touch it. If it's not there yet. I know, like without the power steering, the car likes being a little bit more on the tight side. So you can run about 25, maybe 30 laps before I'm slap worn out. It's like there's a bunch of yellows, it's fine. And last year the track was a little slick, it was a little oiled down, so it wasn't bad. But in the past, when it gets heavy rubber, you got to be a man to drive the thing. I mean, you can free the car and drive it, but then you're going to run, 7th, 8th. To get it right and fast, you got to have it hooked up, and you just got to be able to hold on to the wheel. So
Now, how long have you been coming in here, Joe, as a competitor?
Oh boy. My first year
As a
was
midget competitor.
Midget competitor would have been 2007 was my first year here with a midget. I came with a go-kart in 05 and 06.
Okay.
I've been running the midget. It's a record I keep in my own mind of 25 attempts. I've made 20 shows out of the 25 attempts. Haven't won it yet. So I got the Michael Andretti Award, I guess you'd say. So our time's coming. I think we've paid our dues. My crowner's been coming here since 2001 and hasn't won. Tony Elliott drove for him, Timmy Jedrzak, myself, Lindsay's drove for him, my wife. The car's always been fast. It's had a lot of mechanical gremlins where it's been leading races and broke. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen to us. I've been leading it and got turned before, leading thing. So, that's kind of part of the indoor racing. If you're leading it, you're going to get a bumper. That's guaranteed because you can't see the person going to hit you. Whereas, like, if there's a car in front of you, you at least know you're going to run into that guy. If there's nobody in front of you, you're not going to run into anybody. You're just going to get turned. It's kind of an honor system of don't hit them too hard until it really pays the bills. Then you worry about it and they're mad afterwards. You don't want to hurt anybody, but you don't want to really just piss them off too much. So,
and we've mentioned a lot before, the Rumble is almost, we see the same people every year. So it's almost like a family, so, if for some reason you did feel like maybe, you bumped them a little too hard, maybe spun them out, what kind of backlash did you see after that?
Usually you piss and moan until you go to the bar afterwards and then you joke about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was where like last year I was running second and I tried a big bonsai to flat turn Kaiser. I mean, I told him that I was going to hit you hard enough. We were both going to probably wreck. But it was one where afterwards we joked about it. We still joke about it. So it is what it is. I mean, if I'd have turned him, he'd probably been a little more mad. My owner said if I didn't try that, I would have been fired. So it's different. A lot of the guys you don't see. I used to race midgets with a lot of these guys over in Grundy County or like at Speedrome. And now, there's pavement midget racing's gone. I mean, there's nothing left other than NEMA on the East Coast. So around here, it's just like a reunion of all your friends. You sit and you talk to them on Facebook or you send them text messages and stuff. And now it's just a reunion and it's an event more than anything. You get, like I said, I came here in the go-karts. I started in 2007 in the midgets. So I would have been 20 years old. I'm 33 now. So it's, you've been coming here and you go drink with your buddies afterwards, and we're going to have a little quick pit party outside until the security guard, until Barney kicks us out.
Yeah.
But we're calling it Club 8 Up. So that's the car, number on the car. So we're going to just do that. And afterwards we'll go hang out and get ready for tomorrow and get pumped for that.
Very cool.
Tonight, right now, it's a lot different because the track's real slimy, which the weather plays huge on that.
Yeah, we mentioned that, with him, before you came in, the weather just kind of made it, like you said, almost slimy out there. But they've been working on it. They put a little rosin down, and it seems to be getting some rubber up.
And like I talked to Larry, and I was trying to tell him to try to talk to people here in the conference center, turn the AC on. Try to dry up the air because it's so moist from all the humidity. Where an AC, it'll cool off and it'll kind of dry up the humidity. And I think about 5 years ago, we had trouble with that. It was very humid. The next day we came in, and you could just grab all the rubber off the track with your hand.
Yeah.
That was a very bad deal for everybody around, the track workers and the racers. But it is what it is. It's the cards are dealt. You just deal with it. And I think this year it's going to be a lot different because it's right now. I've never seen it this greasy. Like we're coming in and our tires are just souped up. I mean, they're just real greasy. There's no buildup or anything on them. Last couple of years we had a bad problem with a lot of extra buildup rubber on the tires. So we'd lay rubber down, but it'll peel right back up. And then as we're idling around, we're peeling it up and it's sticking to the tires. I don't see that happening. So it's so greasy. So it's going to be a different ball game this year. You just got to stay on top of it. It's kind of like dirt racing. You just got to keep an eye on the racetrack.
You've been here, you said, how many years, and you're always pretty quick. You got half a practice session under your belt. Who do you think is the car to beat this year?
You always got to say Tony's the guy to beat. But the last few years, he's kind of run crappy. He had trouble, and he flat got beat a few years ago. I mean, it's the times have caught up to some of the guys with the munchkins. But like Cap Henry's in our third car now, and that thing, they got the motor running finally. And when David Goff ran it, that car was pretty quick. Well, they've made a few changes to it, so Cap's a very good driver, and we'll see if it's any better. I feel like even with Troy, the care in our car Cap was running, Cap ran second, I think. Troy is a very accomplished pavement racer, so he's more acclimated to this style of racing. So I feel, I'm not opposed to just flat being conceited and saying we have a shot at just sweeping the podium one night if all the cards are dealt right. Mario Klauser is going to be good. He's a very good racer. Everything he sat in. Bill Guest has their car going pretty good. Jimmy Anderson's fast. Peck's very fast as well. Him and like Russ Gamester, their cars are very good out of the rubber when it's slimy like this. So if it stays like this, we're gonna get, I lean more towards like Gamester because that car's so good out of the rubber.
Mhm.
And it's when it gets rubbery, it's they're not that great because it's just a soft and older car. It works good when there's no grip.
Mhm. So this is Aiden's first year in a 600. And, he's not new to the Rumble. He has a few wins under his belt in the karts. But for someone that's new in the 600s or even in the karts or quarter midgets, what advice could you give them? Fresh coming in. We have a lot of Rumble rookies this year. So what advice could you give those this year?
The biggest one is stay off the tires.
That's yep.
You want to kind of hug them because it's obviously the shortest distance around. But if you hit it, your car's jumped right away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a cart where you can scrape it or bounce off it, and maybe a spindle, but you'll knock the front end out of them.
And
open wheel cars for sure.
in the kart one year, I finished qualifying, whacked one of those tractor tires. We had to take it up to 600 pits and get it welded. So yeah, stay off those tires.
Yep.
They don't move, do they?
No.
No.
No, I've had since I'm a welder, I've had people calling me to weld on their cars to fix them for them. But yeah, no, it's different. The outside groove will work if your car is right. If your car is not right, it's not, in my opinion, not suggested to even try it because you're just going to slide right up out of the way or just get past. So it's definitely a different type of racing in here, and that's what makes it fun and interesting. Is for the fact of everything's so different. We're like, I was talking to Troy DeCare running the 67 car this year. It's like, dude, you run a lot of stuff. You run Silver Crowns, wing, non-wing sprint cars, midgets. Like, this ain't anything like you've ever done. Like, it's different. So
Absolutely.
How both of you guys race outdoors. How different is it? And do you guys prepare differently? How long do you take to prepare for this race? And then how?
362 days.
Yeah.
I think you look at the car for 340 of them, then you go, oh crap, I better work on this thing. I don't think I've had a year where I haven't thrashed on a car. And it's just because you're so busy with the outdoor. You take these things, you clean the fuel system up, and you summarize them, I guess, winterize them basically, and just set them off in the corner. And you pull them out, knock the dust off, and you go, oh wait, I crashed this thing last year. I better put a front end. Or like, oh wait, that motor doesn't run.
Yeah. Jeremy and I, we were putting together a car last year, and we didn't know if we were going to get to run until the night before the practice day.
Yeah, we weren't sure. I think we're still mounting up tires at about midnight last year, but we did make it. And you and Ethan both got to run.
Yep, Ethan Foster and I, I ran Friday, he ran Saturday. I didn't do worth a crap, but I think Ethan got a nice top 10, so that was pretty cool for him.
Absolutely.
I think it was 2013. I was going to run a Volkswagen car, and we fired it off, and the thing broke. We're not sure what it was. It just shut off and clattered. I tried to turn the motor over. It was locked up. And we had our dirt midget, and we had one at a time, had it ready to go chili bowl. So I was like, oh, we'll just take that car. And of course, you can't take it like it was. So I couldn't. So I changed the whole front end on it, got it ready. We got it done, I think, Christmas Eve. It was ready, loaded up, ran it, and all the stuff was sitting there to go back, ready to take the car to chili bowl. First night, we ran third with it. Next night, Lindsay was started on a pole. She spun and or got turned, basically, didn't spin on her own. And then I don't know why she restarted back in front of me, unless I forget what it was. But she got out of shape, and the car almost stopped, and I ran into her, and it knocked front end out of my car. Well, it ripped where the radius rod bolted the frame and broke the frame off there.
Oh, man.
So I'm looking at it going, oh crap, we have to work on this thing. So, got it home after that ordeal, cut all the tubing out, put new tubing in it, threw it back together, and 3 days later we headed to chili bowl out in Tulsa.
So you mentioned, racing with your wife, and we've talked to quite a few people, the Hamilton brothers, John Ivy's family, there's a lot of families that race in here. What is that like racing with your wife? Has it ever caused any fights, at home after the track?
I don't fight it. Is what it is. You're a race car driver. You better deal with it on the racetrack and leave it on the track. No, she's fine. She was accomplished in the midgets and the dirt midget stuff, and she's run pretty good indoors. It was a struggle for her at first because there again it was so different, and she never really ran a whole lot of different types of cars. So you didn't if you run a whole bunch of cars, you can kind of jump around and get an idea. But if you run the one thing, it's takes you a little bit. She's made the race, I think 4 or 5 times. She's made the show.
Now, didn't you guys start on the front row together one year, didn't you? Or
in a
close
heat
to
race before, not in a feature.
Or Lindsay was on the pole.
Lindsay started on pole one year, and that was, I think I started I would have started 10th that night because I didn't qualify that great, and then I had to run a B main.
Well, it is a very special time of year. Like I said, we come from all walks of racing. Joe involved with the USAC and the wing sprints and Silver Crown, and Aiden has been running Circus City outdoors with the non-wing 600, and you've got some wins. You got some wins this year in your first year. Yep. In your first year down at Circus City, and with Kyle and I, all 4 of us being Rumble competitors or past Rumble competitors, it is a very special time of year. It's a large racing fraternity. There's sometimes a year I might only see Joe at the Rumble. So it is a very special time of year. It's very special. Yes, it's a reunion in many ways.
And something I talked about with my mother-in-law, and she asked me about, with the Rumble. It's and my dad, I was talking to her, and it brought up a conversation my dad had with me is how long have I been racing after Christmas? Well, in 1998, I started running a go-kart down in Daytona because I used to live in Tampa. Well, so I've been racing Christmas morning, you get all your stuff done, you do your family stuff. Next day, we're loading up, we're leaving, going racing. So that's been a tradition of mine and my family how many years is that? 21 years?
Jeremy can't do
I'm
old.
That's 98. I've been 21 years that I've been doing that. You remember 21 years ago?
I started racing. I was born when you started racing midgets. So
yeah, I believe it. That's how old I am.
This is the younger guy end down here, and it just kind of gradually grows in age over there. But
not as old as I look.
But no, we're having a good time. Like we said, tomorrow will be the first night of the 22nd Rumble in Fort Wayne, presented by Jason Dietz Trailer Sales. And if you guys haven't noticed, this is actually our brand new trophy in front of the table here. Tyler Rankin designed it. And it's got the wheel, it's got the V for victory out of the steel I-beams, and down below it has a bell. You can't see it in the camera, but these things are pretty sharp. We'll get some cool shots of it, throughout the weekend.
I've already had Larry mad at me because
you tried walking off with it.
No, I rang the bell and I looked up and Larry had his normal upset face at me.
Did he hit you with the flag?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, I ran. I saw him. I got scared.
He's pretty intimidating. I've been trying to stay away from him this weekend, but no, we're excited. So I think I hear the 600, so we better get you out of here. We will see you guys tomorrow out on the track. Racing practice starts pretty early, and then racing starts about 6 or 7. So if you guys are in the area, or even if you're not, make a road trip, then we will see you guys tomorrow at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne for the 22nd Annual Rumble in Fort Wayne. Thanks.